We see somewhere out in space a glowing green asteroid with a satellite in the shape of Vlad's head as a stray comet crashed into the satellite, causing it to become damaged and explode, sending the glowing green asteroid flying towards Earth. Then cut back to Danny asking Danielle if she was excited for her first day, though she complains, asking why exactly she needed to go, with Jack telling her that it's important to get a proper education. Dan tells her that it won't be so bad, and to just relax. She might actually like going to this school in particular, saying that they would be fine. They heard on the news about Technus causing trouble, and Danny tells them he can handle that one on his own, and so heads off to do so. Catching up with Technus, he then blasts them with an ice ray, saying that frost power had really come in handy as he captured them in the Fenton thermos. There were some stupid looking group in red and silver colored armor that asked where exactly the tech ghost had gone, though Danny says that if they mean Technus, he's already handled them, then asked who exactly they were supposed to be. They told him that they were Master's Blasters, and Danny just gave them a funny look, calling them idiots, and told them to stay out of his way. The girl of the group then used some sort of ray that projected Vlad's face into the air. Vlad was saying that he was providing funding to the new top-notch group, though Danny asked why he'd waste the money on these goons when he had his team protect the city free of charge. The crowd were with Danny on this one, booing them and telling Master's Blasters to get lost, and were throwing things, with Danny saying that they just gotta love that mob mentality, before heading off back to Fenton work. We then see Team Phantom taking down Undergrowth, who had somehow escaped, with Master's Blasters showing up, cutting through some vines, though the vines had quickly wilted away due to Undergrowth being stopped by Team Phantom. Then there was a dragon-like ghost that Team Phantom took down, with Master's Blasters showing up too late again. After that, Team Phantom took down Vortex again, who was causing problems for a trailer park, once again showing up Master's Blasters. Vlad tried to throw a parade for Master's Blasters, but the only people that showed up were doing so just to boo and throw stuff at them. It's clear they didn't have the reputation that the elder half-ghost villain was hoping for, with Vlad yelling alright already, he would defund Master's Blasters if that would make them all happy, with Danny and his team sitting around laughing, watching the chaos. Jack questioned why exactly they were all just laughing instead of helping Vlad, and Dan calls it schadenfreude. They see what looks like a giant ghost, but quickly recognize it as a balloon, and so leave it be, with Master's Blasters being the ones to shoot it by mistake, completely shattering what little was left of their almost non-existent reputation. Rubbing salt in the wound, Danielle tells them, way to go, they just ruined a parade balloon. Because Team Phantom had been showing up Master's Blasters every which way they turned, the entire subplot about Danny giving up his powers is completely cut out. Though Jack and Maddie were still trying to do upgrades to the Fenton portal, they'd gotten Wolf a wrist-mounted translator so that everyone could understand him finally, and he'd said that if they needed a portal, he could just tear one open while this one was being upgraded. Danny saying that was true. Cutting to later on, they see on television that the Plummer Observatory base had discovered that a giant asteroid was flying across the solar system, and trajectory showed that it would impact Earth, causing unknown devastation. They have 1 week, and to use it wisely. This sadly did cause mass panic, as the disasteroid was hurtling towards them. The Plumbers didn't have anything that could take down the disasteroid due to its massive size, and the world's governments weren't of any help either, with a lot of aliens evacuating. Though Vlad was doing a public announcement saying that he had news that would impact the planet, he was in fact going to stop the disasteroid. The world could make him absolute ruler and pay him $500 billion from each country, and he would make the disasteroid intangible. The news demands to know how exactly he planned to do that, and Vlad changed into his ghost form, which he then called himself Vlad Plasmius and said that he was going to make Maddie Fenton his queen and collect the son so rightfully stolen by Jack Fenton, Danny. This made everyone look confused and chatter among themselves as Jack looked lost hearing all this. Getting angry from what Vlad had said, Danny blasted him with a ghost ray without thinking, as everyone had seen him do it, and on TV no less. Sighing, Danny then changed into Danny Phantom, surprising everyone as he flies up into the air. Cujo and Danielle were about to join in, but were told to stop by Dan and the Fright Night, stating that this was Danny's fight to handle alone. This time, as they along with Wolf and the rest of the Team Phantom were standing by watching. Vlad questions if he really intends to fight his father when the world was so close to destruction, to which Danny responds that he'll do whatever it takes to stop Vlad. He might be his father biologically, but Jack Fenton is more of a dad than he could ever even possibly hope to dream of. This last bit made Jack look up surprised hearing that Danny thinks so highly of him despite his screw-up, and our main half-ghost hero then took a deep breath, with Dan yelling for everyone to get down. Now! And the entire crowd ducked down as he, Danielle, and the Fright Night all put up barriers to protect the family. Unleashing the ghostly wail upon Vlad, Danny let it go, continuing with Vlad being knocked back into City Hall building, crashing through it, and the building collapsing on top of him with the ectosonic waves continuing to crumble the building to bits, and didn't stop until he changed back to Fenton and dropped from the air with Wolf catching Danny so that he didn't hit the ground. Cujo sniffed around and growled as Danielle went to see what was up with Vlad, seeing that he was in the form of Vlad Masters instead of Plasmius, and looking way too worse for wear. He was alive, but it was clear that this was the worst fight he'd ever been in, as if he wasn't half ghost, he probably would have died there. Still, this meant that he was just unconscious with several broken bones instead of dead.